Good evening, Chicago. Welcome to this week's StreetWise StreetScene. My name is Gregory Pritchett. I'm the Director of Distribution of StreetWise Magazine, and I want to thank CAN TV once again for giving us the opportunity every Friday at 6 o'clock to come to your house and bring awareness to the organization StreetWise. This is our 12th season on CAN TV, our second time and this season in 2012, and CAN TV's definitely been there for StreetWise, and this show has really been a great platform to bring to you, Chicago, the important information that we have about StreetWise, and also to educate people about StreetWise. StreetWise has been around since 1992, and we still get that question. A lot of people who ask, well, what is StreetWise, and what do you do? Is it just for people who are homeless? Do people live at StreetWise? I get a lot of different comments. So, I'm going to do my show the way I normally do at the beginning, because somebody new to maybe watch who never saw the show before, and really break down what we do at StreetWise. What is our mission at StreetWise? Well, we're an organization that helps men and women who are homeless, who are at risk of being homeless. We empower them through employment to help them become self-sufficient. Let's take the first part, homeless or at risk of being homeless. Everyone's at risk of being homeless. It only takes 1 second and the bottom can drop out from underneath us. But a lot of times we get so wrapped up in our daily lives and the hustle and bustle of the daily grind that we begin to take for granted a lot of things God has blessed us with. At one point of our life, we'll feel like the house will always be there, the car will always be there, the money will always be there. Let's say mom and dad will always be there. And at that very moment, while we're feeling so grandiose about ourselves, we may see someone who may be struggling, someone who may be down and out, or someone who may be homeless. And somewhere inside, as we say to ourselves, or we may have said to ourselves, that can never happen to me. Well, it doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anyone. Let me give you some clear-cut examples on ways people can become homeless. Hurricanes, floods, fires, drug abuse, loss of jobs, bad economy, health issues, mentally or physically. Somebody just pointed out to me the other day, hey, man, how about divorce? Yeah, divorce. These are ways people can become homeless. So I like to say StreetWise is for everyone. It's the means of financial, mental, and spiritual gain. But here's one of the things a lot of people don't realize about the organization. I guess it's based on stereotypes, or maybe the lack of information, is that you do not have to be homeless to be a part of StreetWise. You do not have to be homeless to be a part of the organization. The only requirement to be a vendor with the organization or be a part of our organization is the want and the need to better oneself. We have a lot of formerly homeless men and women who sell StreetWise. Keyword is formerly. How did they become formerly homeless? They use StreetWise as a resource to get out of that situation. We did a survey and it said that 68% of the vendors said before they came to StreetWise, they were actually living in the streets. But because they was able to sell the magazine and take advantage of the programs that we have at StreetWise, it helped them get a place to stay. We also have vendors who sell StreetWise who have never been homeless a day in their life. Why do they sell StreetWise? Well, so they can keep their place. Bills have to be paid. We have vendors who are working on getting their GED. We have vendors who have part-time jobs outside of StreetWise. That number is getting smaller because, people are losing their jobs today. People are getting laid off. People are getting fired. StreetWise vendors are working. We also have some vendors, believe it or not, who are in college. So I'm just trying to give you a round view of the vendor force. But if you were to pay attention to the stereotypes, I guess you would think that all vendors are homeless, which is not true. Second part of our mission statement, empowering through employment. That means if he didn't give them a job, they didn't hire you, they may have fired you, they may have laid you off, or they may have discriminated against you. You ever heard this one looking for a job? We'll give you a call, and the phone never rang. Well, when the men and women come to our orientation, which we hold Mondays and Thursdays at 10 o'clock, and what we do with the orientation, we go over sales training techniques, we break down our mission statement, we let them know we have to offer them and how they can take advantage of StreetWise in a positive way. And at the end of that orientation, we give them $30 worth of magazines, free to get them started, and we give them a badge. And they're responsible for keeping the mission going, for keeping the magazines going, for keeping the business going. I look at StreetWise vendors as businessmen and women and entrepreneurs. And if you're looking for a job, hey, StreetWise may be definitely for you, because our goal is to help every man and women that come through our doors become self-sufficient. So that's our mission in Chicago. We're an organization that helps men and women who are homeless or at risk of being homeless. We empower them through employment to help them become self-sufficient. Right now is the best time to be a part of our organization. I've been to StreetWise since 1998, and I really believe that all the pieces are in place. The magazine is the foundation to help people, empower them through employment to generate a legal income. But we have a full-time director of social services who can help our vendors with housing, education needs, how to get an apartment, how to maintain that apartment, how to find a job. We also have a workforce development coordinator who will help our vendors with resumes and in charge of our produce program, where we're going to be talking about the neighborhood carts a little bit later. full-time meals, well, food for our vendors on a daily basis, hot meals, from the time we open to the time we close, and of course our work empowerment center, where our vendors are able to use the computers. We're able to help them get tutoring, one-on-one tutoring, to help them, use Streetwise as definitely a stepping stone. So if you'd like to be a part of our organization, Chicago, this is what I'd like for you to do. Hey, Chicago goes to work, so can you. Hey, become a Streetwise vendor. We'll help you get started. Now, your first 15 magazines are free. That's $30 worth of magazines. What are the benefits of becoming a vendor? Well, you'll be able to work for yourself, work at your own pace, set your own hours. Now, you'll be able to start immediately. Everyone qualifies. Orientation is held every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. at our new facility, 4554 North Broadway. 4554 North Broadway. Come check us out. We got our new facility, and it's really awesome down there. We've been doing the whole build out. Now, Chicago, this is a call-in show, and we do have a caller. Caller, you on the air. Welcome to StreetWise StreetScene, our first show of the season. Caller, question or comment?
Hi. First of all, congratulations on sustaining Streetwise. I do think it's a very valuable way to introduce people who have been down on their luck for one reason or the other back into the business community. It's a good way to introduce them to positive social interaction with other people and give them a way of looking at different ways of living.
Yes, I do agree, and thank you for your call.
My question is, how is it, or how do you have ways of monitoring the actions or the behaviors of your Streetwise vendors? I asked that question because I work in the area of State and Randolph, and there's one particular vendor who is very often on one of those corners right there at State and Randolph, either the corner in front of Walgreens or the corner over by the Macy's door. And he's really a crude, distracting man, and he makes very inappropriate comments.
Well, our vendors are all over the city of Chicago, and we have what we call a quality insurance team. Now, these are the men and women who are like my eyes and my ears throughout the city and outlying Chicagoland areas, and they report to me on a daily basis. That particular corner, we do have one of the vendors who, like, Female Vendor of the Year award. She won that award. Her name is Priscilla Orr. She's been on our show many times. But one thing I want to say to the caller and everybody out there looking at the show in Chicago, make sure that the individual that you see that has a magazine, make sure they have a badge, because one of the things that people don't really realize is that the people who make it really bad for the real vendors who are out there working for a job to become self-sufficient, they have a legit Streetwise badge. So if they don't have a badge, then they're not a legit Streetwise vendor. You would call the Chicago Police Department, definitely call our office, and we can definitely do a follow-up. Now, if they are one of our vendors, definitely please give me a call, and we will definitely address that situation. Streetwise has 195 vendors throughout the Chicagoland area. Our vendor force is at an all-time high. That just shows you what's going on in the state of the economy right now. People losing their jobs, people are getting laid off, people are getting fired. Streetwise vendors are definitely working. I want to thank the caller for calling in for that comment, and definitely what she said at the beginning. And if that is a person that's part of our organization, we definitely will address it. Chicago, Streetwise has definitely made a point to take advantage of technology, and we're definitely taking advantage of social media. You can follow us online at www.streetwise.org. Plus, we're on Facebook. We're on Twitter and definitely YouTube. I'm very proud of our website today. I've been at Streetwise for a while, and it was very kind of incomplete in the beginning days of Streetwise. Now we have a dedicated team that does the weekly maintenance to our website. I am very proud of our website. Through our website, you can learn about upcoming events with the organization. You can learn how you can volunteer your time with the organization. We've definitely rode on the shoulders of volunteers throughout Streetwise history. I believe if we didn't have the volunteers we've had throughout the career of Streetwise probably wouldn't be here today. So you can learn how you can volunteer. You can definitely learn how you can donate to the organization, how you can support an individual vendor. You can learn about our different programs, like the program I was talking about earlier with our social services and our neighborhood cart program and our free meals. And you can definitely learn about the history, and you can find out what edition is out that week and the past editions in the archive. We're going to give you the cover, and most importantly, you can definitely find out about our vendors. So check us out on, once again, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and our website, www.streetwise.org. One of the ways how we do funding every year is we really depend on our gala that we hold every year. And this past week, we had our 2012 gala fundraiser. We want to say thank you to everybody who participated in our gala. We had a keynote speaker, Will Allen from Wisconsin, a very effective speaker. I really got a lot out of him, but we had some honorees that we honored at the gala. Jan Sikowski, a Government Leadership Award. She's a congresswoman. Also honoree, we honored Michael Kloon, Philanthropist of the Year. He was honored. He's the CEO of Kloon Construction. William Rundick, he was honored, a co-founder of Global Food Banking Network. He received our Civic Leadership Award, and I was very proud of the gala. Real strong turnout this last past week. We honored some of our vendors who use Streetwise as a stepping stone to go on to get a better place to live, better jobs, and that's what Streetwise is about, helping people use it as a stepping stone to go on and get better jobs, better place to live, and just be comfortable within themselves. One of the new projects that we've had since our last season here on CAN TV is a neighborhood food program, carts, where our vendors are definitely going to be all throughout the neighborhood. This is the Neighborhood Carts program, and here you see one of the guys who was on our show, Don Smith, one of our quality assurance team members. He's one of the vendors that's working with the Neighborhood Carts program. We have a cart right now on Wilson and Broadway, and it's doing real good. A lot of good things have been said about the cart, like it keeps the panhandlers off the streets. A lot of the negative things that used to go on in the corner. It just makes the whole neighborhood brightens up. Plus, it's healthy. So I definitely can tell you, Chicago, you will be seeing a lot of the neighborhood carts throughout the Chicagoland area, and we're definitely focusing on food deserts. There's areas where there's no grocery stores. We got a lot of that throughout the city of Chicago. So this is just one way Streetwise is helping men and women use as a stepping stone to go on and to better themselves. So look out for the neighborhood carts coming to a neighborhood near you. One of the things that occurred since our last season, I'm really sad to say that we lost one of our founding board members with the organization, in memory of George Horowitz, who actually was one of the greatest supporters of Streetwise that I've ever known throughout my career at Streetwise. I always tell people that the same spot I used to panhandle, I started selling my papers. Well, Judd was one of my customers and never told me he was affiliated with Streetwise. All I know is he supported me on a weekly basis when I was starting up my business selling papers on the corners of Chicago, and he did it for 3 years. He supported me for 3 years, and then when the vendors elected me on the board of directors, not one person makes the decision for Streetwise, but a group of men and women are board of directors, but you have to have a vendor on that board to be a voice for the vendor. Well, they elected me on the board of directors, and I go to my first board meeting, and I'm very proud. I have my name tag there on the table, and who walks in the door with other board members? One of my customers, Judd Horowitz, who never told me he was on the board of directors, and he looked at me and he said, "I'm really proud of you." That's just the type of person Judd Horowitz was. He was a real low-key guy, but he was really a man of action, and he made things happen. And I'd say, Judd, rest in peace. You're definitely, truly, you're going to be missed, man. Judd really helped keep the organization together, and I am definitely going to miss George Horowitz. So let's move on to something more brighter. I want to introduce you guys to someone who's really been helping our show the last 3 years and brought a new spark to the show. I would like to bring her on. I want to welcome to the show my producer and our director of design and marketing at the magazine, Chicago. Welcome, Brittany Lanemeyer. Brittany, welcome to Streetwise StreetScene.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having me.
How are you, dear?
I am great. Happy to be here.
So, look, Streetwise comes out every week. I always talk about every week our vendors have something new to sell. They have something new to promote. They have something new to offer their customers. And you're very responsible for the awesome covers that we have and the content inside the magazine.
I try.
And so let's give our viewers a little insight of what's going on in the world of Streetwise and the magazine.
Okay, well, this week we are celebrating all the fantastic film festivals going on all around Chicago. So, of course, you have the classic Chicago International Film Festival, which is going to be on October 11th to the 25th. And what's really special about this year's group of films is that they're honoring Chicagoans. So there's a special Chicago celebration, actually. So the opening night film is going to be Stand Up Guys, and that's with Al Pacino, Christopher Walken, and Alan Arkin, who are three classic actors, and it's kind of a gangster sort of themed film, and that's produced by Chicagoan Tom Rosenberg.
Okay.
And then the festival's centerpiece, Cloud Atlas, is by Chicagoans Lana and Andy Wachowski, so more Chicagoans. And then the closing night film is also produced by a Chicagoan, Robert Zemeckis, and that's called Flight, and that's starring the handsome Denzel Washington.
All right.
You'll have to check those out.
So what else is going on?
I also really want to talk to everyone about a huge event that's happening this coming weekend. It's another film festival, but it's very in tune with the Streetwise mission.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, it's the Chicago International Social Change Film Festival, and that's going to be starting October 5th, which is tonight, actually. So
Okay.
you should check it out. And going to October 7th. I believe I have a slide, if you could bring it up. I want everyone to check out their website and purchase tickets. It's the next one, actually. Lovely. ChicagoSocialChange.org. That's where you can get the tickets. And what's really unique about this film festival is that the creators wanted everyone to not only go and enjoy a film and have that theater experience, but they wanted to inspire them to get out and make social change.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these film festivals are about different social issues like homelessness and poverty and all sorts of different topics that we find very important that we want to make social change.
And that's taking place. It's starting today, right?
And it's going to be ending Sunday. And I will be making a guest appearance on Sunday evening. So go out and check out some films and maybe you'll run into me.
All right. That's what's happening. Okay. What else would we like our customers to do? You know, one of the popular sections in our magazine has been our customer vendor pick, right?
Right. And so I urge everyone, if you have a favorite vendor or you have a regular vendor that you buy from, I would love it if you would send me a photo of you and that vendor so I could feature you in the magazine. And so you can do that simply by taking a photo with your camera or your iPhone, and you can email it to me, Brittany Langmeyer, at blangmeyer@streetwise.org.
All right. B. Langmeyer at streetwise.org. Chicago, please send in them photos.
We actually have one this week, as you can see. Laura Rosen sent us this photo of herself and Streetwise vendor Sam Sanders, one of our favorites. She wrote, "We had the pleasure of meeting Sam last week while visiting Wrigley Field. He was very friendly, and we were happy to make a donation to Streetwise. Keep up the good work." So Sam will keep up the good work. And Sam actually is one of the vendors who sends us so many photos with his customers. I don't know what he does. He must stop them and make them take photos of him constantly.
Well, you know,
He's
Sam
a
is
great
one of the
guy.
guys out there at Wrigley Field. You know, I'm definitely a Sox fan, but Sam's out there at Wrigley Field. So he's interacting with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so he has a lot of people taking in some pictures of him. And we want you, Chicago, to send in your pictures. B. Langmeyer at streetwise.org. Brittany, I want to thank you for being here. And
Thanks,
we'll be looking forward to
Greg.
having you the rest of the season,
Yeah.
helping us here on Streetwise Street Scene, okay?
We're going to have a ton of fun.
All right, for sure. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, now, every week we highlight a different vendor. That's one of the most popular sections in our magazine. And this vendor profile is Mark Biggs. Mark is a very interesting, you know, we have a lot of interesting people that come through the organization. But, you know, a quote from him in the profile, he said, "My father used to tell me times are going to get real tough. And he always said that through all that mess, just keep your head up." That's right. Just keep your head up, Mark Biggs, because you definitely do. And you are vendor profile this week. You know, Mark, like I said, had an interesting story. He's from Tennessee, and he's a street musician. So you have a lot of talented men and women who come through the organization, a lot of untapped talent, a lot of forgotten talent. But Mark is very young, and he mixes in and Streetwise, you know, finding his niche. He does street musicianship and plays and sings and sells a magazine. So, you know, get that Streetwise this week and read a lot about Mark Biggs. You know, we have a lot of different type of men and women in our organization, very interesting, who have very smooth sales techniques, and Mark Biggs is definitely one. Speaking of one of our vendors, we want to wish a speedy recovery to Rourke Moody. Rourke Moody is our Streetwise poet. You will read his poetry in every edition of Streetwise. He is having heart surgery, and so we want to wish him a speedy recovery. You can find Moody when he's out there, and I'm definitely sure he's going to be out there because that's a strong brother. Out on Randolph and Michigan Avenue, right in front of the Culture Center. A lot of the people know him from right in front of the metro station. Love you, brother. Speedy recovery to my man, Rourke Moody. That's what's happening now. Chicago, like I said, Streetwise is the best time to be a part of an organization, and it wouldn't be possible if we didn't have the men and women I'm going to introduce to you right now. Our wonderful staff. Hey, Susan Haney, our editor-in-chief, who keeps the magazine popping. Sarah Brown, our new director of social service, very instrumental in where we are today. Linda Cotero, my executive assistant and our executive director assistant. Of course, myself, Gregory Pritchard, Brittany Langmeyer, sales manager Ron Madry, and our executive director, Jim Malone Bianco. These are the men and women who are at Streetwise, and we're waiting for you, Chicago. If you'd like to be empowered, come on down and give us a visit. Hey, it's nothing like Streetwise, and there's never a dull moment at Streetwise. You can definitely guarantee yourself that. Chicago, I want you all to really be on the lookout for this right here. If they don't have a badge like this and they're in the city of Chicago, do not purchase the magazine. That means they're not a legit Streetwise vendor. I want you to know what to look for, and this is what you look for. We just put out a new badge, and here it is, Chicago. That is the new version of our Streetwise badge, 2012 on. As you see, it has our new logo on it, the badge number, the person's name. Expiration date is very important. The badges expire every year. Now, if they're a new vendor and they're coming out of orientation, that badge will expire in 6 months. But if they're one of our veteran vendors and they've been there for a while, it'll expire every year. Every year we renew the badge. Now, the other badge is a very important badge to know about. It's a vendor and training badge, okay? This is a legit badge, Chicago, but it must have the expiration date on it, the name on it. If they don't have either badge that you see here on the screen right now, do not purchase a magazine from the individual. Tell them to come on down to Streetwise and do it the right way. We get a lot of questions about, well, where does the money go? Did the vendors bring the money back to Streetwise and you guys give them a place to sleep at Streetwise and feed them? Well, it's not true. Our vendors are businessmen and women and entrepreneurs. I mean, they buy the magazine for 90 cents and it sells on the streets for $2. That means $1.10 goes directly in their pocket. So where the money goes, like we say, vendors buy it for 90 cents, sell on the street for $2, $1.10 goes directly to that licensed vendor. I think it's important that Chicago knows that our vendors are businessmen and women and entrepreneurs. When they come to orientation, we help them get started. We give them $30 worth of magazines to get them started, and after that, they're responsible for keeping the business going. And to keep it going, they have to be businessmen and women, and they're supported by you, Chicago, the men and women who support vendors' business on a weekly basis. It keeps up with the organization. Job opportunity. We talk about that all the time. Working it like a job. So, Chicago, I don't see too many people hiring right now. If they are, hey, let's get those jobs. One of the things I want you to keep in mind, you do not have to be homeless to sell Streetwise. If you like to work, even if it's for something for temporary or something for the long term, if you're between the ages of 18 and let's say 95, that's the oldest vendor I've ever seen at Streetwise. Hey, this is what you ought to do. Come down to our organization where we're located at 4554 Chicago and Wilson and Broadway, and you can get started. You know, you can be a vendor. We'll help you get started. Your first magazines are free. We're going to give you $30 worth of magazines free to get you started. Come on Mondays or Thursdays to Streetwise, 4554 North Broadway. Come down if you'd like to work. Attend our orientation session, and I'm going to help you get started, give you $30 worth of magazines. That's Monday and Thursday at our facility, 4554 North Broadway. Well, Chicago, we're going to have a lot of interesting guests this season. Tune in every Friday at 6 o'clock. And we're going to be supporting a lot of our Streetwise vendors, and we're definitely going to be bringing awareness to other non-for-profits who I feel should have awareness to. You know, there's a lot of good organizations in the city of Chicago. And since we've been in Uptown, we've really been working with a lot of different organizations. Here's one gentleman I'd definitely like you to meet when we talk about entrepreneurs and coming up. Too Smooth Productions. DJ Chris, how you doing? Welcome to Streetwise StreetScene, my brother.
Thank you for having me.
So how's it been going, man? You starting up a company. Let's talk about Too Smooth Production and your event that you're going to be having. You are at a non-for-profit. You are at a SRO. And what's going to be the Halloween party, man?
Yeah, the Halloween party is going to be October 27th. Starts at 7 o'clock till midnight. And it's a costume contest. First prize is $50. So anybody can come in and join in and try to win that $50 for the best costume.
No, that's at SRO. And what facility is that?
It's at Leland Apartments at 1207 West Leland, Chicago. Leland and Racine.
And they're not-for-profits. They help men and women. It's like subsidized housing, helping people who are formerly homeless get back on their feet. So, DJ Chris, Too Smooth Production, thank you for coming to Streetwise Street Scene. I want to thank Brittany Langmeyer for coming today. In Chicago, you can catch us every Friday, 6 o'clock here at CAN-TV. I want to thank CAN-TV for having us once again. Until next week, stay focused, keep it real, stay streetwise. See you, Chicago. Peace out.
Good show.